How to sponsor your spouse and your kids for a resident visa in Dubai or UAE as a whole. In this video, I'll tell you all the requirements that you need to fulfill in order to apply for a permanent resident visa for your spouse and your kids for Dubai or UAE as a whole. Hello everyone, my name is Salman. I'm your licensed real estate broker from Dubai, and on this channel, I tell you everything, every question that you have about Dubai, you get it answered here. Every other tips and tricks of living or enjoying the lifestyle of Dubai, as well as about different investment opportunities in Dubai. But in this video, let's get down to the main question of how we can sponsor our spouse and our kids for a permanent resident visa in Dubai. Before we move into the basic requirements of getting a resident visa for your spouse and kids, we need to figure out who can actually sponsor their spouse and kids. And the answer is simple. You can only sponsor them for a permanent resident visa if you yourself have a permanent resident visa. And keep in mind, there are two kinds of resident visa that we have discussed in our previous video as well on this channel, where I told you about different kind of resident visa that you can get in Dubai. But here we are discussing two main different kind of resident visa. One is the work visa, which is also the employment visa that you got from your employer, the company that you're working for. And the other one is the investor visa, which you got either by investing in a property or by opening up a company in any free zone or mainland of any state in UAE. And then also you can sponsor your spouse and the kids. There is one main difference in both of these sponsorships, which I will tell you later on in the video. But now let's talk mainly about the resident visa, which is actually the work visa or the employment visa. If you want to sponsor your spouse and kids, your minimum salary on your labor contract, on your HR contract, has to be at least 4,000 dirhams if the accommodation is provided to you by the company, or it has to be minimum 5,000 dirham if the accommodation is not provided to you by the company. That is the main requirement after which you are eligible to apply for the resident visa of your spouse and kids. Once you have the minimum salary requirement, then we get into the documentation. Now let's talk about the spouse first. Since you are coming to Dubai or UAE from outside the country, so that is why we need to have the marriage certificate, original marriage certificate, attested from the relevant authority who issued it in your home country. After the attestation of the relevant authority who issued it in your home country, it needs to be attested by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of your home country as well, who are verifying that yes, it's issued and attested by the marriage certification regulatory authority. After that, we also need to get it attested from either the UAE embassy in your home country or by the MOFA office in UAE to verify that yes, it has been actually attested by the MOFA office in your home country. This requirement alone is enough to verify or prove that indeed you are about to sponsor your spouse. Now, if we talk about the kids, similarly for them, there has to be the birth certificate tested by the relevant authority in your country, followed on by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of your country, and then either by the UAE embassy in your home country or by the MOFA office in UAE. These two documents proving your relation to the spouse and the kids is the main key requirement before proceeding with the resident visa. Now, using these documents and using your minimum salary certificate or your Ejari, which is the tenancy contract in case you have an apartment as well, all of these documents are submitted to GDRFA, which is the immigration authority of Dubai, or the Federal Authority of Residency, which is for UAE based in Abu Dhabi. You can apply to any of them either online through the ICP app or the GDRFA app or the Dubai Now app, or you can go to any typing center in Dubai, to any PRO, and they'll help you apply for your family visas. After all of these documents are submitted, as I told you in the previous videos as well, the process is the same, that they will get the entry permit, and based on that entry permit, using that entry permit, they will enter the country, or if they were already here, then they will change their tourist visa into the permanent visa using that entry permit, which will be followed on by the medical test, most important for your spouse, followed on by the biometrics, and for the kids as well if they are above the age of 18. But here is the main requirement again when it comes to the gender of your kids. So in Dubai, you can sponsor your son until the age of 18 easily, but above the age of 18 it gets a little bit tricky. Maybe he's a student, or maybe you'll have to get him a work visa depending on the rules every now and then. But when it comes to a daughter, it does not matter about her age. As long as she is still under your supervision and she is not married, you can actually sponsor her regardless of her age. So you got the requirement of your 4,000 salary with housing, or minimum 5,000 salary with a tenancy contract, the attested marriage certificate, the attested birth certificate, and then you apply for the resident visa. And this is for a person who has the work visa, who is on an employment visa, and you get the entry permit and you go for the medical test and the biometrics. Now let's talk about the partner visa, which is the investor visa. The process is the same, the requirement is the same. Since this person is not getting any salary, so obviously he has to show a tenancy contract, and then he has to show the marriage certificate that we discussed, the birth certificate that we discussed, and the process is the same. But there's one extra requirement which keeps changing every now and then. So obviously by the time of this video, this rule exists, but it might have changed. So always keep an eye on the latest rules and regulation, but the process will always be pretty much simple. But for an investor visa, for a partner visa, he might have to put up a small deposit for each of the visas that he's about to sponsor, for the wife and for the kids. It's probably around 3,000 dirham for each of the person that you're about to sponsor. But when the visas are cancelled, obviously this is a refundable security deposit, so you will get it back. In a nutshell, yes, you can sponsor your spouse and your kids' sons easily until the age of 18. After that, they might have the student visa because they will go into universities and stuff. Daughters easily, the requirement is the marriage certificate and the birth certificate. Tenancy contract, which is like, showing your housing accommodation, is also very important. It's also a bit logical because if you're bringing your family, you must have the capacity of keeping them in a proper home. And you can apply for all these visas either through online application or through a PRO. So it's that simple. It is completely possible. They will get mostly a 2 years resident visa, which is renewable after these 2 years, and obviously they can go out of the country and come back on that visa within those 2 years without any problem, because they will have their active Emirates ID cards. So yes, I hope you got the answer to your question, if in case you're wondering that whether you can sponsor your spouse and kids in Dubai, and how you can sponsor your spouse and kids in Dubai. If you have any other questions about this same topic or any other topic regarding living in Dubai that you want me to cover in a video, please put them below in the description, in the comments below, sorry. And you can follow me on my Instagram or my TikTok. The links are in the description. And also subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated with everything else that I bring to you about Dubai. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.